What's up, everybody? It is your boy, Uncle Greg, back at it with another episode of Something Out or Nothing. This week, we got some League 4 notes from the prior. Then we got the Week 5 picks as money lines, also spreads or over-unders. If I'm not comfortable with the spreads, we'll give you my results as far as my picks total. But first, let's get into these league notes from Week 4. So these notes are just something that I looked at and was just like, let's take a look, let's write it down, let's remember it. So Pittsburgh gets back on track with the win overseas. I honestly thought they were falling off the map. Started playing pretty ugly. Aaron Rodgers was looking his age, but looking like the defense is turning it around. They're getting warmed up. Can never judge a team too harshly in the first month, but Pittsburgh, they were a hard team to put my finger on. Looks like they're going in the right direction. Detroit torching Cleveland's defense, getting 34 points. Early on, Cleveland's defense looks pretty elite. They've put in teams in pressure moments and have been pretty close in games that they probably shouldn't have been in. So I was just shocked to see that defense give up 34 points. New York Giants and their rookie Jackson Dart getting a big W on the visiting Chargers. Now, I know a lot of people are going to give them a 10 a.m. East Coast trip excuse, but in my opinion, I had them ranked number one overall in my rankings. So if you are that elite, going East Coast shouldn't be that big of a deal. So, of course, they fell down in my rankings. If you want to watch that, that's in the YouTube video. Go check the link, hit the like, subscribe. But next up, Philly getting the dub in Tampa Bay. The reason why I wrote this down because both teams were in my top 10, I think in the top 5 at the moment, at that moment. So Philly getting the dub definitely put them up. I think now in the top 3, maybe third. But Philly showing their dominance in the NFC over a team that I had highly ranked, Tampa Bay. LA Rams getting a solid win against Indy. Indianapolis Colts are playing pretty damn good ball in my opinion. Daniel Jones dishing the rock. Jonathan Taylor getting involved. Defense is not looking too bad, especially the rush defense. So Indianapolis, a dub over them, solid for the Rams. Jacksonville catches San Francisco sleeping. Now, I've been keeping Jacksonville a distant. I don't want to get too close to them, but I did put them in my top 10 as they've been playing pretty good, 3-1. They got a good matchup this upcoming week against KC, so we'll see if they can stay afloat. Tie, Green Bay and Cowboys. Like, what? That was such a great game. That a tie? I don't know. I don't think that should have ended in a tie. They should probably adjust some rules. I think ties are terrible. And last but not least, Denver taking care of business on Monday night. I think they won like 38 to 3. I know it was against Cincinnati, but that's what you need to do against inferior teams. You need to show your dominance and don't allow them to hang around. And Denver did that. So those are my week 4 notes. Now, let's get into the week 5 picks. And for the first pick, I had chosen the LA Rams because I had thought the San Francisco 49ers were depleted on injury and they weren't going to be able to compete. I didn't think they would be able to do much against the solid Rams defense. Defensive line for sure. DBs seem to be the weakness. So this week's segment of My Bad Dude is going out to the San Francisco 49ers. Doubted you guys. You guys looked impressive. Mac Jones carrying the squad, hobbling on one leg, doing out however he can while Brock Purdy heals up. I respect that man. I respect the game. My bad, dude. All right, so let's get into the rest of the picks since I'm starting off 0-1 on both sides as the under didn't hit as well. Stupid overtime. It was close. I would have been okay with being wrong with the Rams losing in regular time and getting that under because it was at 43. And then obviously 2 field goals later from both teams. That's it. The over was easily hit at 45 and a half. So 0-1 spreads, 0-1 picks. Let's get into the rest of the games, see how I can improve. So for the first match, another overseas trip for the Minnesota Vikings. And Minnesota, pick 'em wise, getting the dub. As Carson Wentz has averaged 8.7 yards attempt, sixth highest in the NFL when pressured, and has thrown quick passes under 2.5 seconds on 54% of his attempts. So even though Cleveland can put the pressure on teams, I think Carson Wentz has shown in the small sample size that he's able to get rid of the ball quick. And I have Minnesota winning. But I think it's going to be a close game. It's probably win by 3, especially because overseas is weird. You never know how scoring's going to be. But I think that 3.5, that extra hook on that half is going to save you. I think Minnesota probably wins by 3 points. But spread, Cleveland 3.5. Next up, Houston versus Baltimore. C.J. Stroud has struggled on intermediate passes this season, posting 42.1% completion, 8th lowest, 140 yards, 7th lowest. He needs to get the ball going on the ground. I think that's what they will be doing, trying to control the clock. Houston gets the W, in my opinion. Baltimore suffering some injuries with Lamar Jackson. So I think they're going to be able to try to control the clock. Houston minus 1.5, basically like a pick 'em. I'm rolling with Houston on this one. Following that, we have... my bad, Joe. We have Miami taking on Carolina. Now, I just am not impressed with Miami this year. I think the coach might be on the hot seat this year, and he's probably going to let go. Where Carolina, they have surprised me when they beat Atlanta. I know they got handled last week against the Patriots, but this team, I don't know. I'm just going with the gut feeling on this one. I don't really like Miami that much. I might get this receiver's name wrong. Tatora McMillan has been targeted in press man coverage 41% of his routes, tied for the 6th highest. The rookie has 5 recorded receptions and 84 yards in press man coverage, ranking 2nd most in that category. The Dolphins play press man coverage 18.8% of the dropbacks, which is 11th highest in the NFL, and above the league average of 15.9%. So I think if anybody's going to eat, it's going to be that rookie. So look out for him. Maybe fantasy-wise, he might help you out. But Tetora McMillan, I think, is going to have a good game for Carolina against Miami. Next up, Carolina plus 1.5. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but just in case. Next up, Denver versus Philly. I do believe Denver has played pretty decent, but Bo Nix has targeted underneath proportion of the field, which is below 10 yards, 70% of his passes, the 5th highest rate in the NFL. I think Philly's going to do a good job taking that away, forcing him to throw the deep ball, and that's where he's had trouble. If Denver does want to win, they're going to have to control that ground game, which is going to be hard because Philly has a good defensive line. And with that being said, Philly gets a W, and if we're talking spreads, I think it's going to be close. I think this might be the best defensive line that Jalen Hurts might have faced. I know he faced the Rams, and it was a close game. Maybe this is the second best defensive line, because I do like that Rams defensive line, but they got embarrassed this past week. So maybe Denver's better. We'll see what happens this week. But for now, Denver plus 4. I think that spread is perfect to get that points, because I don't know. I think this might be a closer game than that spread entails. Following that, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the New York Giants. And with Dak Prescott leading the NFL in completion percentage, 79.6%, and a completion percentage over expected rate of plus 8.8% when facing zone coverage. This man, Dak, basically what that stat tells you is we have a guesstimated a percentage of what he's going to do, and he's been exceeding that about 8% this year. So with the New York Jets kind of running heavily in that zone coverage, I feel Dak Prescott's going to be able to eat. Cowboys defense definitely not going to help them. So if Justin Fields plays, that might hurt them as far as the scrambling ability and not being able to bring a quarterback down or pressure them. But I still feel Dallas Cowboys get the win against the New York Giants just as they're a better team. And that minus 1.5 Dallas, taking that as well. Next up, we got the New York Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints. Now, simply put, taking the New York Giants, I do not like the New Orleans Saints. They just have not looked good this year. The Giants have pressured uh, Justin Herbert on 40% of the percent of his dropbacks in Week 4, resulting in 2 sacks and 2 interceptions. I think they're going to do the same thing against this young quarterback in New Orleans Saints. They're going to pressure him, probably get some sacks, and New York Giants get the W. Also, that +2, taking that as well. Giants get the dub. Next up, Las Vegas versus Indy. Now, not much needs to be said. Indy, I think of them highly. DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart are tied for the most run stops among the defensive linemen this year with 12. So if the Vegas Raiders want to do anything, they're going to have to figure a way to get the ball in the air because Indy's defensive line is doing a good job of stopping the run. Buckner has recorded 19 run tackles this offseason, most among the defensive linemen, and a 31.7 run tackle rate, and the highest among defensive linemen at least 30 run defensive snaps. Ashton Jeanty has been a hit behind the line of scrimmage on 52% of his carries this season, 10th highest amongst 38 running backs with 30-plus carries. Jeanty has recorded 101 rushing yards on such plays, second in the NFL behind Jonathan Taylor. So despite getting hit in the backfield, Jeanty has been producing. So we'll see if the Vegas Raiders can overcome my analysis of Indy just being too tough at the defensive line. Indy gets the pick, but Las Vegas +7, I think that's a lot of points. I don't really like taking a lot of points for the favorites. So next up, Tampa Bay and Seattle. Another top 10 battle, in my rankings at least. Tampa Bay visiting Seattle. I think Seattle's defensive line is going to give Baker Mayfield some issues. We'll see if the receivers Emeka Egbuka or Jackson Smith and Jigba will have the better game, as they are both tied with the NFL lead receptions of 25-plus yards, basically making the big plays. I don't know if Seattle's defense will allow Tampa Bay to get that off. We'll see, though, because I got Seattle in the pick, and spread-wise, Tampa Bay +3.5. It's going to be a 3-point game. I just feel like that. I don't know. I just feel Vegas is really close on these points. It's rare that there's a blowout and stuff like that. But when it happens, it happens. And I'll take that out. But it's all good. Tampa Bay +3.5. Seattle with the pick. Following that, Tennessee versus Arizona. Now, this is a straight gut pick because, I don't know. I don't feel like a team's going to go over, especially when you have a talented quarterback like the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward. So I think they're going to catch Arizona slipping this week as Arizona is dealing with some injuries to the running game. I think Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals like to play a little pretty. Marvin Harrison dropping balls that he should be catching. So honestly, Tennessee gets their first win. I think it's just going to be just catching somebody flat-footed. Simply put, Tennessee +7.5 as well. That's a good amount of points. I think they're going to cover that. Next up, we have Washington Commanders taking on the LA Chargers. Now, the LA Chargers, yes, they had a terrible, terrible loss against the Giants, and there's not much I can really say to defend that. But I feel they're going to bounce back against this Commanders defense. This defense is not looking too good. I think Justin Herbert's going to be able to get his get-back game. I believe Jaden Daniels is coming back for the Commanders. We'll see how he looks coming off that injury. But as far as the pick, LAC, the Chargers, and spread, Chargers -3. Rolling with that as well. We got 3 games left. We got Detroit taking on Cincinnati. Detroit's just a better team. Cincinnati, not good without Joe Burrow. For the spread and the money line, not touching either because I don't know what's going to happen. I think Detroit has like +12.5 or -12.5. It's a lot of points. So what I'm going to do is go with the under 49.5. I don't think Cincy's going to be able to score. I think Detroit's going to score, but not Cincy. So this pick, Detroit, we're talking money. We're going under 49.5. All right, and then we have New England taking on the Buffalo Bills. New England has been up and down, but I think it's going on against the competition that they play against, and I don't know if they'll be able to match the intensity of the Buffalo Bills offense. Drake May, do like him as a project. He's looking pretty good, but not here in this spot against Buffalo, taking Buffalo with a pick. And I know I don't like really taking a lot of points, but I do think Buffalo is one of the top dynamic offenses in this game, and I think they will be able to cover that -8. So pick Buffalo, spread -8 Buffalo. And last but not least, we have Kansas City taking on Jacksonville. I feel Jacksonville's unit has been playing pretty impressively lately. Kansas City was able to bounce back against Baltimore. I think Xavier Woods was able to be in the lineup, and they're able to spread the field and send it deep. So, and which opens up the underneath game, which is Pat Mahomes' bread and butter. But I don't know. I think Jacksonville's played a lot better than Kansas City this year. I think they're going to get this W. I think Trevor Lawrence is finally getting on track. We'll see, because I kind of jinx him anytime I say that he has a bad game after. So we'll see. We'll see what's that. So that's my picks so far. Pick 'em wise, 43-20, because I did pick the freaking San Francisco or the Rams against San Francisco, so that is an L. 43-20-1, and then spread wise, 14-30-1. I need to improve on that for damn sure. As week 4, I went 8-6-1 in the picks and 6-9 in the spreads. Let's see if I can improve that this week on the weekly numbers and the total. All right, you guys, let me know what you think. If I picked against your team, let me know why I'm wrong. If I picked for your team, I don't know, give me a thumbs up, some like, subscribe. Don't forget to say what's up. I talk. We have communication around here, baby. All right. Hope you guys enjoy the games.